You're doing everything right, but you still can't lose that belly fat simply because you might be making these easy to fix yet crucial mistakes. Over the last 11 years, I've been training, coaching, competing, educating myself constantly, but I've never ever heard anyone speak about these things. The things which fit people do that get them results much faster, and no one ever knows how to even explain them properly. In this video, I'll be covering the 7 reasons and adjustments that you can make which would move you from the 93% into the 7% who actually lose belly fat fast, and by how eating more and training less can actually help you lose even more fat, because most people think eating less is the answer, but the truth is it could be the very thing that's holding you back. And what if I told you eating more could actually be the secret to losing more belly fat? Now imagine your body is like a phone. When it's fully charged, you can run all your apps, do all your business. But when the battery goes low, your phone switches to power saving mode. The screen dims down, the background activities stop, and it only performs the bare minimum to conserve energy. This is exactly what happens when you cut your calories too low. You move less, your brain's operating at half its capacity, which is terrible because most people don't even have a brain these days. And then your daily tasks like, you're walking, cleaning, cooking, wanking, reading, you do less of them. And these tasks actually burn a surprising amount of calories. Now don't go start wanking all over the place, but when you're in power saving mode, you're burning way less because you have less energy to put into these things. So instead of using your willpower to eat less, use it to eat high volume, nutrient dense foods that are almost impossible to overeat. I guarantee you that if you eat primarily around these foods, you're going to be 10 times fuller than what you currently eat. And you'll be doing less damage staying in your calorie deficit. It's like right before you go out for a night with the boys, your missus gives you the best sex of your life so you don't overeat outside. But what if I told you this might be the very thing that's stopping you from losing fat? Let me take you back a few years. I downloaded this money tracking app mainly because I just get paid. I'll blink once and abracadabra, my money's gone. So I started tracking every single penny, tips, parking fares, happy endings, even a bottle of water. I swear to you, man, I went insane. Actually, I had high blood pressure from this. I'd be on a date. Instead of thinking what to say, I'd be thinking, fuck, I gotta track this shit down. Don't forget this. You bought this. Shit. Oh shit, you forgot yesterday. It was not sustainable. But when it comes to food, we're expected to track and weigh everything we eat. Food is such a constant part of life. If I were to weigh every single bite, no normal human does this every single day long term. Those who do are usually wanker fitness influencers or people who have a shitloads of time on their hands, because tracking every single bite every single day is a bit unrealistic and not a way for most people to live. If it's something you can sustain doing without going crazy, go ahead and do it. But most of the time, it's gonna drive you crazy. So instead of trying to do it forever, track everything you eat for just 1 month and that's it. It's like using training wheels on a bike. At first, tracking your food is incredibly helpful. It keeps you steady on the right path. But eventually, you've got to take those training wheels off and truly trust yourself to ride freely. And in that time, you'll develop the best fat loss skill out there, a natural sense of how many calories are in the foods you eat. It's like a superpower for making better food choices. Before you buy something, you know how much it costs, so you can manage your money. So you should also know the calories in food so you can also manage your calories. Every other day, it's someone's birthday. It's 2 a.m. You turn into Godzilla in the night. Now, if you know roughly how many calories are in what you're eating, you can quickly decide if it's worth it or not. Because most of the time, there's going to be a much better option that would satisfy you just as much for less calories. And when you track that for a month, you also become super mindful of what you're eating. You start to build better habits naturally, and it's kind of like giving yourself a cheat code for fat loss and setting yourself up for long-term success without needing the food scale and a spreadsheet for life. Now, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but imagine actually looking forward to your workouts without feeling like you'd rather walk on Legos barefoot. Now, that might sound a bit impossible, but it all comes down to finding the right lover, which I'm terrible at, actually. Now, when I first started working out at 13 years old, I was obsessed. I trained every single day, no days off. Eat, sleep, wank, train, wank, repeat. But then as I started getting educated, training got boring because I was focusing on what was optimal instead of what I loved. I started missing sessions. It wasn't until I started jiu-jitsu a few years ago that I found that spark, that love again. And I went from struggling to go to the gym to going twice or thrice a day just because I genuinely enjoyed it. Because when you find something you love, motivation becomes it's not an issue anymore. You don't need to force yourself to show up because you actually want to be there. You actually enjoy it. And that's where most people fuck up, because even if you don't like working out, maybe do the things you hate the least or what's easier initially. But more often than not, it's like a TV show. Initially, we're like, you don't want to watch it, but once you give it some time, you start to like it, and especially after seeing results, few seasons in, you love the show, you're rewatching it, that's going to happen exactly with your fat loss. But that's why finding the right style of training is critical. It could be lifting weights, group classes, or even mall walking for all I care. Anything is better than nothing. There's even research which shows that even 4 minutes of short bursts of intense activity where your heart rate's above 150 can reduce the chance of dying from cancer by 32% and heart disease by 49%. So you, your family, tell them this. Even 4 minutes can make a massive difference in their life. Now, what if I told you there's a secret weapon that makes you a consistency machine? It's not motivation or discipline or some magic supplement, just plain old accountability. You could get a gym partner, hire a coach, then your lazy ass is more likely to get worked. What also helps is setting deadlines with rewards and consequences. Hit 2 workouts and a step count by the end of the week. And if you do that, treat yourself to something nice. If not, you need to run 5K on Sunday. But you have to respect this, because when you respect these small deadlines, you start building momentum, you start to feel proud of yourself, and that feeling will get you a long way. And listen, I know life gets busy, but there's nothing more important than taking care of yourself. Fuck work. You need to be selfish and prioritize yourself. Do you brush your teeth and shower? This is the same. Non-negotiable. You have to do it. But the absolute best way to build accountability is to commit financially, because once money's on the line, shit gets real. Now, the next reason has nothing to do with what you eat or how you train. It's about before you even start, because you'd be making one of the most important decisions that make or break whether you build your dream body or you fail. Choosing the right gym. When I was younger, I trained in this tiny ghetto-ass gym. Rusty equipment, people burping, but I liked the people and the energy. It felt like my second home. And then I moved to these fancier gyms and it just went downhill from there. Shit vibes. People were snobs. The reception was so annoying, always trying to sell you something. And I just didn't feel like being there. For the first time, I wasn't consistent. But when I found my current gym, it's a quiet, welcoming place, great equipment, clean showers, plenty of sunlight coming in, best jiu-jitsu classes, no grunting wankers around. But most importantly, it was super close to my house and was also affordable, which made everything so much easier. And honestly, just the difference between a 5-minute drive and a 20-minute drive can massively impact how many workouts you actually get done each month. Choosing the right gym is like choosing the right partner. If you choose the right one, it just flows and works so naturally and effortlessly. Versus when you choose the wrong one, Jesus Christ.
Why are you liking our photos all the time? For the last time, stop wearing my underwear. You're stretching it out.
Choosing the gym, top priority. Choose wisely. And for the next reason, I want you to imagine you bought a beautiful new desk from IKEA. You're super excited to set it up, but when you open the box, there's no instructions, just a pile of screws and tools. But you think, how hard can it be? So you start randomly connecting different pieces, guessing which screws goes in where, and hoping it all fits together. But obviously you get frustrated, you stop, come back to it a few days later, and finally you built a wanky ass desk. The drawers are on the opposite side, table sinking, you just hate it. Then you regret even buying it or even trying to do it. Now, going to the gym without a proper plan is exactly like this. You show up with good intentions, but without a clear plan, you end up doing random, inefficient things. And then you end up frustrated and quit because you became that sinking desk you built. If you follow a proper program tailored to exactly what you want, you'd actually be getting results. Now, following the wrong program is like training for a marathon by swimming. The right approach saves you time, frustration, and you'd actually enjoy the process because you see progress with every single step you do. There's nothing worse than walking into the gym and not knowing what you're doing. A solid program is like a GPS taking you where you want to be. A good program focuses on 6 primary movement patterns, which you should aim to hit every single week whilst progressively overloading them. Now, progressively overloading just means you're trying to do a little bit more each time, whether it's adding weights or adding more reps, or even just improving your form. And if you don't do this, it's kind of like playing a video game and fighting the same boss over and over and over again without really moving on to the next level and improving your skills. Now, the 6 patterns are squatting movements, hip hinge movements, lunge movements, vertical and horizontal pulling movements, pushing movements, and overhead pressing movements. Now, by nailing these 6 patterns weekly and switching up the exercises each month, you keep your body guessing and avoid hitting a plateau. For example, this month you might be doing back squats. The next month you could switch that to Bulgarian split squats. And once you've got those core movements locked in, you can even layer anything extra you want in, whether it's focusing on your arms, improving your posture, adding cardio, but most importantly, make sure you're having fun with it while also giving you exactly what you need. So if you're always hungry and tired, stop starving yourself. Instead, fill up on high volume foods that are going to keep you satisfied without feeling like a zombie. And if calorie counting feels exhausting, just track for a month. Develop that intuitive sense what you're eating so you can enjoy the foods you love without overthinking it. And if you feel anxious, everyone's watching and judging every move you do in the gym, choosing the right gym environment makes a massive difference. And if you struggle to find motivation, finding a workout you genuinely enjoy can transform exercise from a chore into a hobby you genuinely like. And if you're working your ass off and never achieving what you desire, a solid program acts like a GPS, showing you exactly what to do so you're never wandering aimlessly. And if consistency is your biggest challenge, building accountability to a coach, a gym partner, or just financially committing can make skipping workouts not an option anymore. And the last reason, but the biggest reason, which defines whether you fall into the 93% who never get anywhere or the 7% who do, is action. Perfection is the enemy of consistency. Now, more often than not, you're a victim of paralysis by analysis. Just get started. No one ever wakes up and just starts having good habits, starts eating healthy food and trains properly. It's a process. It takes time. The sooner you start, the sooner you can get there. Just be real with yourself. If you're slacking, you're slacking. Don't make excuses for it. Just own up to it. And do this for yourself. No one's gonna do it for you. No one's saying you need to climb a mountain. All you have to do is slowly just start executing. Just one workout, even a few more steps. Just get your shit together and you'll be thanking yourself and wishing you started earlier. Because in 3 months, you can look like a completely different person. And if you're facing a setback and you want to come back leaner and stronger than ever, check out my next video. I'll walk you through the exact step-by-step system which I used to bounce back from the worst injury I ever faced in just 60 days.